you do?
Huh? I told you.
Airplane mode real quick. That way it doesn't beat through.
That's fine.
Okay. Hello and welcome to The Moral Limits. I'm Stewart Keller, and with me is my mother, Dawnise Keller.
Hello.
And we just saw Thor Ragnarok. What did you think?
I loved it. It was really good.
Now, in comparison to the first two, what did you think?
I would I would put the second one last.
Yeah. Second one is definitely last.
Definitely. But, I don't know, because the first one kind of really sets up who everybody is and kind of...
It really, one thing I did notice, too, was, remember the second Avengers movie?
Yes.
That movie, I felt, set up a lot of things that, happened in Civil War, Ragnarok, and...
Yes, definitely.
That movie suffered a lot, because all it does is set up. And the unfortunate thing, like you mentioned, Thor 1, it sets up a lot of things that happen in this one, but none of those things are paid off in the first Thor movie. So, you get this, super golden palace, and everything's perfect, and the royalty. But what's really cool in the third one is when you go behind the curtain and you realize, who paid for all that gold.
Yeah, and at what price everybody...
The only thing I didn't like is there were some interesting concepts about, a nation founded on atrocity, but they never really explored Odin being a horrible person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They said it at length.
They made it still a pretty picture versus who he really was.
Right, because it's Hela's hey, Thor killed all of these people. He conquered all of these realms. But hey, whenever we have a scene with Loki and Thor, he's still a pretty good dude.
Right.
It's still just that one father figure. Also, I didn't like how quickly he died off.
Yeah.
And the way he just kind of into the distance. It was kind of like Yoda when he died.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of the movie, it was they're just trying to try to tie up loose ends.
I think there should have been a little bit more between the father-daughter relationship.
Oh yeah.
Totally expand on that a little.
Yeah.
Versus he says, she says, but never the two of them.
Yeah. Loki was still the best villain, especially if you look back at him in the first movie.
Yes.
But she was good. She was better than the second movie, the villain. That elf guy.
Oh yeah.
But one thing I don't like about Loki is he's a good guy now, but I don't really see that transformation, you know what I mean?
I think he's still out for himself. He's gonna play on whichever team will help him.
Right, but I mean, he literally went from, I'm gonna conquer Earth to...
Okay,
yeah.
I'll do this.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll do that.
It's kind of like Whiplash for that character. You're oh, I'm doing this thing. Oh, I'm doing that thing.
Yeah, he's very passive and...
I want to say I really loved the Hulk.
Yes.
The Hulk scenes were the best.
I smash!
The best actor still is, the actor they had in that first movie. He was, really skinny and...
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a guy, dealing with the trauma of having that beast inside of him. With that being said, when he's Hulk, that was hilarious. Strongest Avenger. Another character to introduce was Valkyrie. She was amazing.
Yes.
I instantly got a Leela vibe when she, fell off drunk from the spaceship.
That was... Yes. That was totally...
And, another thing I didn't like. Just randomly saying, oh yeah, Jane dumped him.
Yeah, there was... Yeah.
If you track the story of the three movies, you end that second one with them kissing on Earth besties ever. And it all of a sudden, boom.
Nothing.
It's kind of the opposite of what happened in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah, with
Pepper.
Iron Man, yeah.
Yeah, because you would set up in all those movies, she had legitimate reasons to not want to be with Tony. At the end of the day, he is a good guy, but he's not good for her.
Correct.
All he's going to do is be absent in saving the world, and that's fine.
And she wants a stable environment and someone always around.
Yeah. But that's a thing these movies really tend to do is, they're doing this thing and then they're doing that thing. It's all these different directors step in. At least with Batman versus Superman and, Man of Steel, there was a direction they're going with the characters.
Correct. Not the back and forth.
Yeah.
Same with Loki. It's...
Yeah.
Don't know where is this movie, is he good? Is he bad? Is he going to
Right, like Man of
or...
Steel, he wanted to protect the people. And in the second movie, he wanted to protect people, and eventually led to his death. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2 weeks with Justice League.
Yeah. That
Exactly
would be a good
2
one
weeks. I can't wait to see that one.
We'll have to have another date night.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm gonna see a double feature of Wonder Woman. That's gonna be amazing. This movie, what else was in it? Odin, I thought was hilarious when they had like the Loki betraying Odin.
Oh, how about the
Matt Damon.
Yes, that was
a weird one because it was like when he was laying down. I remember they said there was a big name actor who was gonna play Loki in like a play on Asgard, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, was it Matt? Who was it? Matt Damon? Maybe Matt Damon. Is that Matt Damon? And when he's laying back, I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, it really looked like him.
Well, no, I was trying to figure out if it was him or Thor because they were both like at these odd angles where he couldn't see.
No, it was definitely Loki.
But then, but when Loki stood up, it was like, yeah, that's Matt Damon's fat face trying to fit under that black wig.
No, that was actually really good.
Yeah, I'd love to see him in the DC movies with Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck's Batman.
Right.
And there's this childhood.
But now, what character would
There's a childhood friend of Batman's who comes back later to kill Batman, and that would be great to see Matt Damon play, because the two of them have that relationship.
True. Back and forth.
Yeah. And it's also the character's name is Hush. He opposite of Bruce Wayne's parents, he killed his parents.
Got it.
To inherit their wealth. And then on top of that,
kind of like that next TV show that's coming out where the brothers kill their parents.
No, I didn't hear about that one.
Like the O.J. Simpson one that you had me watch.
Oh, it's a true crime one?
Yeah.
No, it's not the same show, because season 2 of that, you know what season 2 is going to be about?
What? It's
going to be about Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, that's
and the goof up that was FEMA.
Got it.
And it's going to have Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
So last season we had Timon as one of the lawyers. This time we're going to have Simba as the head of the FEMA.
Oh, well, we got to get Lion King in there somewhere.
But, what else? Oh, but Hush. So he also, what he does is he does plastic surgery. Like, his profession was he was like the world's greatest plastic surgeon. So what he can...
Face Off with John Travolta?
Basically Face Off. He can basically get... He'll go around and find like the nose that is closest to Bruce Wayne's. He won't take it from Bruce Wayne. He'll go and find someone else's nose, put it on his, get a different ear, and he'll basically make his own Bruce Wayne and then impersonate him.
Wow.
And I think Matt Damon would be really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work.
It was that one or Aquaman, back when Aquaman like wasn't uncasted, but now, oh my God, Aquaman looks hilarious in this new one.
That is.
Like in this new one, he literally uses one of the aliens as a surfboard and like goes down a building.
That'll be cool to see.
But what was another problem with this movie? I think they should have had like a more meaningful resolution with Loki, like
between him and his father, or between
him and the audience, like kind of like define what his path has been for this entire franchise, like. They always kept throwing like rocks at him, right?
Yeah.
To always make sure he was there. So I would have liked Hela to have killed him, and then like at the last moment you have Thor being like, you know, he like throws a little pebble at him, and you know the two of them share a laugh, but it's saying that he was there.
Right.
But there were moments where it was like, I would have liked to have explored the three siblings.
Yeah.
Because it's like. They're siblings, but I don't feel like I really felt that.
It was always the boys against the girl.
Yeah.
And it was always a competition, and it was like Thor was born to replace her.
Yeah, and I would have liked to have seen that explored more.
Yeah.
And also, like, her divine right to the throne should have been explored more. Like, hey, I should have had this, but since you were the male born, you were going to get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would have been interesting. But yeah, Loki just kind of seemed like they just plugged him into...
He was the third wheel that just tagged along for the ride.
It's like, oh, we need someone to help the people. So then he came in through and helped the people. Jeff Goldblum was never
he was
every scene he was in, he was amazing. And I loved his second in command with the poker.
She was ready to just hand it off to anybody.
Oh, what was the word? Trash. Oh, I always have this word for her. What's this word? It starts with a B. I was like, say it. They swore a lot more in this movie.
Well, and there was also a lot more of the, I would say, innuendos.
There was a few, like the orgy, but they'd used innuendos before, like in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
He says,
don't
versus
turn on
the other Thor movies.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I'm comparing this Thor 3
Yeah.
to Thor 1. There was a lot more of implied things versus...
Well, that being said, there was a lot better comedy. Like, before you had that one female sidekick from Two Broke Girls who was just like, get out of here. She's annoying. She made a couple innuendos, but it was more or less like, oh my god, how hot is Thor, whatever.
Right.
It was like, she had a few funny parts in the first movie, like the taser, but in the second one, it was just like, ugh.
I think she was just there because she's her friend, so she has to come back.
Yeah.
Instead of saying maybe she moved cross country and...
And like, you think of the second one, like, the whole point of that movie, I hate that movie so much, but the whole point of that movie
So I'm saying we just go from the first to the third.
Yeah. Like, the first one isn't the best. I don't even think it's good, because the problem with the first one is, like, Thor has to save something, right? Like, he's sent down to New Mexico, right? Now, he's not sent to Albuquerque. He is sent to, like, the middle of nowhere with, like, middle of no one to save.
Right.
So when they send down the destroyer to destroy the town, it's like, all right, whatever. Like, walk 10 feet that way, you're in the desert. He blows up the building and walk back. You're fine.
Right.
And then in the second one, oh my god, those elves were bad. They just look like cardboard cutouts saved from Lord of the Rings. But, yeah, the first one's definitely better than the second one.
Definitely.
And again, Loki was really good in that movie. And then Loki was good in the Avengers, and then...
Even what little parts he's had in the different things.
Like, he's got moments, like his relationship with his mom was good, but...
Yeah. I would have liked to have known what the mom's take was on the three siblings.
I know, like,
it was all about dad and daughter, but
and then he out of nowhere he had this benevolent choice to just settle down. And I'm just like, it would have been interesting for them to be like, no, then that's when he met her, and then that's when he changed it. But no, it's just out of nowhere. Yeah, he decided to be benevolent.
Yeah, because it wasn't like, okay, we had a mom and she had these three kids. It was like, okay, then where the first kid came from, and
yeah, because that's another thing. If she came from the same mother as Thor,
it never specified.
Yeah, and then that really puts a new lens on her. Because if she is the reason, but they never say that, they never explore that, so it's left up for interpretation. So she's either the mother of her and then stood by Odin while he committed all those atrocities, or he's the reason why he stopped, and that should have been in the movie.
Yeah, and that would have explained, why Thor is the way he is, versus why the sister is, why she is. It's two different family dynamics then.
Yeah. And, like, I could have seen her past as being related to Loki, but they're not even related. He's adopted. Yeah. So, like, that's why another thing I didn't like was the fact that she didn't look anything like Thor.
No. I mean, not the mom, the dad, or Thor. I mean, the only one she did resemble was Loki, but Loki's adopted. Yeah. So, therefore, where did she come from?
And she was entertaining, and she was a good actress.
She was very good at her part.
I just wish they had given her more to do, kind of like Kurt Russell. But I like Kurt Russell better as far as villains go.
Definitely.
But the movie-wise, I thought Spider-Man Homecoming was the best Marvel movie this year. This would be second. If Spider-Man Homecoming was a 97, this would be closer to a 90. And Guardians would be like more of an 80.
Maybe mid-80s. But yes, I agree with the order. But I would give it more than just an 80.
Yeah, just the problem with that movie is like...
It had awesome music.
Yeah, but the bouncing
around.
It had
awesome music.
I know, I love the music. I listen to that music daily for like months.
So that's what I'm saying. I'd have to give it more than just 80.
Yeah.
Because I did enjoy the music more in Guardians 2 than
there's only one song in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing song, but they played it twice. And I was like, wish there was more. I did love the Revolutionary.
Yeah.
I want to say that's it's either Brett McKenzie, who was an actor on a show the director did a while back, and then it's either him or it was a show called Flight of the Conchords, and it was about a fake band in New Zealand. Flight of the Conchords. I've played some of their music before, but they had a manager in that show, and it also could be him, but it's that very New Zealand. I also noticed like a lot more of the extras that had like a New Zealand accent to them. That's because the director is New Zealand.
There you go.
But he's really good. He also did this. It was like a fake documentary about vampires living in New Zealand. And one of the ones they meet is called he's a werewolf, and he has a gang of other werewolves. And one of them called the vampires a curse word. And he was like, we're werewolves, not swear wolves.
That's cute.
Yeah. But on that note, that's it for this week. Thank you for recording.
You are very welcome.
And we'll see y'all in 2 days.
Through all the things I've had to see, visions of the pods to be, the moral limits are unseen, and now it all seems clear to me that arguing is painless. It brings a little changes, and I can do it with whomever I please. Fuck you, no you can't, only with me.